After 22 seasons managing Major League Baseball, Detroit Tigers skipper Jim Leyland is calling it quits. Today he resigned at a press conference where he got highly emotional, saying goodbye to his team, the fans, and even the press. He will be missed. Leyland, his 22 years were spread over 3 or 4 teams. In fact, he won a World Series championship with the Florida Marlins back in 1997. He brought Detroit there twice, was on the brink this year before falling to the Boston Red Sox just the other day. From a Philadelphian's perspective, I could remember in 2006, after the firing of then-manager Larry Bowa, the city was clamoring to bring in Jim Leyland as our manager. Now, we made out okay with Charlie Manuel, who won a World Series and became the winningest manager in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies. However, we were bewildered by why we would let someone like Jim Leyland slip through our hands and go to the Tigers. And what happened? We watched the Tigers go to the World Series with our former infielder Placido Polanco in tow. So Leyland has had a hugely successful career. He's had some bitter pills to swallow at the end of some of those seasons, a la the Pittsburgh Pirates lost to Atlanta on the final play of the game way back when, and of course Shane Victorino's grand slam the other night, which helped eliminate the Tigers from World Series contention. He didn't get a ring for Detroit, but they had their most prosperous era in the history of their existence. Of course, Sparky Anderson was no slouch himself. I recommend that the Detroit Tigers hire Charlie Manuel, and let me give you a couple reasons. Charlie Manuel is kind of out there to prove that he should not have been fired by the Philadelphia Phillies. He doesn't talk like that, he's too classy. And former Philadelphia Phillies managers and coaches have done well when they've moved on. The Phillies had Terry Francona for a few years. It didn't work out. Francona goes on to win the World Series with Boston. Andy Reid, fired last year from the Eagles. Right now the Chiefs are 7-0. So why can't Charlie Manuel take that highly talented team? He loves hitters like Cabrera. He's a hitting master, if you will. Charlie Manuel, for me, is the perfect fit, that player's manager, that guy who's going to be behind him all the time, as Jim Leyland was. So Detroit, swoop up Charlie Manuel before Cincinnati or some other team does, and you'll be okay. But there you have it. Jim Leyland, 22 years in the big leagues, pennants with Pittsburgh, Florida, Detroit, one World Series championship, and about 1 million memories, is now retiring at age 68 from Major League Baseball. He will still consider himself and be part of the Detroit Tigers organization.